Yes, Andy, welcome to the Empowered Coach podcast. I'm your host, Richard Dale. Thank you for joining. This is Andy from Reps Fitness Signature Personal Training based in Colchester. Thanks so much for joining me on the show today.
Absolute pleasure, Richard.
So let's just jump straight into it. This show is really built for coaches, so we can talk about anything that we hate about social media or the industry, and also, find out more about your business so that you can continue to network with, other people in the industry too. Would love to know your kind of journey into fitness and like how long you've been doing things.
Wow, right, where do we start? So, 16 years old, standing at about 6'1". I was pretty much classed as a tall person. Needless to say, school wasn't the forefront of my mind, but playing sport was. My mum had swam at a high level. She broke the equivalent of the Commonwealth record twice. So fitness was always a massive thing in the family. I ended up going down the route of trying to play basketball, got offered a scholarship to play in America, didn't take it, played at quite a high level professionally in England, until you realise that you're not the white Michael Jordan, and you're not going to be. And even if you did, you're not going to make Michael Jordan money. And so naturally, I wanted to I needed to start earning money. I ended up going down the route of financial services, became a qualified IFA, started working all over the world. And really, where does that lead to the fitness? It served me really well. I'd gone from being super fit, super disciplined, skinned, to being super fat, super overweight, with plenty of money. Nice cars, watches, houses, this, that and the other. Till sort of 32, 33. I'm 53 now, so yeah, 32. I remember having a conversation and said, I don't think I'm going to make 40. Drinking heavily, smoking. So, and not through, just it happened within the business the world I was in. And then made a decision, right, I'm going to start getting myself fit. Made a massive transformation, which you can see on my website. Sober for many different reasons, but one for fitness. Stopped smoking, got back into fitness, and literally just went from strength to strength to strength. Passed my qualifications, got from level 2, level 3, master personal trainer, then started getting qualifications as a battle rope coach, kettlebell. Started looking more towards coming away from just the push, pull, lift, let's sit on resistance machines. How can we still get fit, healthy and conditioned rather than just this aesthetic, let's stand in a mirror and squeeze our muscles, and learn how to be healthier and fitter to enable potentially to live that little bit longer and a better lifestyle more than anything else. And so I was in Cyprus for 9 years, Spain for 18 years, set up my own gym in Spain, my own fitness retreat, my own personal training studio. COVID came and shut all of those down. So then got forced to take the business online. And I think the best thing for me was the fact that I'd done in person, set my gym up. So I'd actually worked in person. I'm a true believer that I don't think people should go online as a personal trainer until they've done in person for at least 2 to 3 years. And then you can sort of, in inverted commas, say I'm a qualified personal trainer and I'm online, as opposed to I'm now sat behind a computer screen, I'm an online personal trainer. Wow. Have you actually trained anyone? Well, you don't know when they're behind a computer screen. You've got no idea. And the way that social media is, the way that computers are, design, graphics, marketing teams, gurus, this, that, and the other, you can now create whatever image you want and say, yeah, I've done it. And so we got thrust sort of into the online program, do anything with fitness, because we can't speak and be in front of anybody at all while lockdown was on, or we take it online. So I then started doing my online and doing training, but live training, so people could actually see me doing the workout as well, rather than just record it and send it to them. Which was fantastic. It was a great experience, and really set us up to where we are today. We've come back to England now. So we relocated back from Spain after being in Spain for 18 years, back over to Essex, Colchester. So I'm now still living in a foreign land as a Mancunian. Even though I'm back in England, I still class it as I'm still living abroad, because I didn't even know Colchester existed, but I did. But I'm now still very heavily involved with the online, with my coaching, and we do a lot of accountability coaching with every client that we take on. And we're now back to doing a lot of one-to-one training as well. And we've combined the two. So the reason we call it signature personal training is every client gets the one-to-one experience privately, but they also get their online program to follow. On top of, we're qualified and certified nutritionists as well. So we build the nutrition plans to go with the workouts and the training. And my philosophy is a 200% strategy. 25% is the workout, the one that everyone's scared of, but it's I wouldn't say it's the easiest part, but it's the smallest part. 75% I work on what, when, and how much you put in your mouth, which is your nutrition. We've eliminated a word diet. We took it out of the dictionary. We haven't, but we bought dictionaries all over the world and scribbled out diet because it shouldn't be even mentioned. And nutrition plans should be enjoyed, not endured. But then the biggest part, the 100%, is that apple mac up here. If this isn't programmed in right, I can give you the best training plan in the world, the best nutrition plan in the world, and you're just going to waste your money. So hence, when I sit down one-to-one with people, probably turn away more people than I'll take on. We're not a cash converting PT. Let's get the next one in, the next one in, the next one in. Every client that sits down with us has to do a 9 or a 12-month contract. Doesn't matter where they are, super fit, unfit, beginner, novice, whatever. We're trying to educate people that this isn't just a magic wand for 4 weeks. Let's take some money off you. Fingers crossed you'll do okay. If you don't really, and we do a big sort of fitness strategy fact find with everybody, if you're not singing that right tune to us, that you really have a big want and a real why, not just I want to lose some weight, we're not the PTs for you, and we're not the business for you, and we don't need your money. We do, of course we need your money, we're running a business, but we don't need to be the company that just takes that £300-500 with a fingers crossed mentality that you will do what you say you'll do. If we don't see that in that meeting, we'll gracefully bow out and say, look, we're not the company for you. And I think that serves us well, to be fair.
Yeah,
So
I think
that's where we started and where we're at right now.
there's some real wisdom there. You've been through that journey of being a PT, doing the studio, doing the retreats. And I think, particularly when you're first starting out, one of the frustrations can be just getting the wrong sort of person on board.
Sure.
And not being able to get them results can really knock your confidence and also just make you just not enjoy what you're doing. When people are falling off the program and that sort of stuff, it can create some real self-doubt. So I think that's like a
100%
solid strategy.
I think the other big problem that we've got now is biomechanics, getting results through movement. There's all these clever sort of analogies of shredded, ripped, and social media's creating social media gurus. I've had a guy come over to me in the gym accusing me of this is the wrong, you shouldn't be training people this way. With a battle rope, with a slammer, you should be focusing more on the resistance machines. I said, well, who are you? Well, I'm an online trainer. Perfect. And my company's success through body movement, biomechanics. Right, let me introduce you to 90% of my clients. So you mentioned biomechanics will run out of the door because they don't want a biology lesson. They don't want to know which fiber, metatarsals, whatever it is, that they want to come because they're unfit, they're out of shape. They want somebody who knows what they're doing, doesn't need to profess that they know the book of biology or anatomy inside out. But by the end of 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, they're fitter, they're healthier, they're safer, and they're looking better shape. They're not necessarily aesthetically got a washboard six-pack. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. That depends on what that client wanted to achieve. But they sure as hell don't need to sit in a biology lesson with a biomechanic guy guru who professes that everybody else is doing everything wrong. And unfortunately, for me, in my opinion, and again, I'm a bit prehistoric at 53. If you ask my daughters at 24 and 25, they probably disagree. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, social media is creating this. If I see somebody that says this is right, that's the way to go. And especially if they're an affluencer, an influencer or whatever, right, okay. But take for a PT to be very good at what they do. And the difference of online to one-to-one, again, for me is a big difference. Everybody online has to be told to niche. You've got to find a niche. Why? Why should you have to find a niche? Well, because you're going to be lost in a crowd of PTs. Yeah, but if you're the best at what you do, why do you need a niche? So I kind of go against the grain to that. So, okay, so you're telling me if you only deal with 7-figure earners of multinational companies, why are you only dealing with those? Because you know they've got the money. And you know they're not really too concerned if they get the result. Because what's $7,000 for a 6-month program to somebody earning 7 million? Great. Now you can work that algorithm and get that in. Well, you're a great PT. No, you're probably not. Probably the worst PT, even if you're a PT. Now, are you telling me that if somebody came to you and said, but my problem is I'm really depressed because I'm overweight, I can just about scrape the money together, possibly. Oh, yeah, but I don't need to speak to you because you don't earn seven figures. You're not a CEO of a company. Right. Okay. And that's who I should be training. And this is how you should train, because my guru told me I should only be working with biomechanics or this or that. No, it's not. A personal trainer is not just about, for me, having that washboard stomach and being able to do 2,000 pull-ups like David Goggins in 2 minutes. Yeah, it'd be great. But then the average person wants to just be fitter. And what are we doing this for? So you can stand in a mirror and say you look fantastic, but you can't run to the end of the street without blowing out your backside. Or are we trying as a personal trainer, as a fitness coach, to get people fitter and healthier and have a better standard of life or a lifestyle? And so I think for me, the social media, as great as it is, and I use it a lot myself, has a lot to answer for of people that are spending a lot of money on that hamster wheel and end up back where they started, 10 or 15,000 pounds less. And that's the same with coaches. Again, the amount of coaches that approach me quite, I suppose, in a way arrogantly, say, we can scale your business to 100 grand. Well, first of all, how do you know I'm not earning 100 grand? So there's my first insult. You're telling me that I don't earn that. Well, you don't know anything about me. Then I dig into your background and find you're 22 years old. You've never failed at anything yet. So you don't really know how to be successful, because the majority of people that I know that are hugely successful have failed a lot more than they've succeeded. And now you're going to scale my business. And I said, well, okay, so how long have you been a personal trainer for? Oh, I've not been a personal trainer. Well, I'm a personal trainer. So how are you going to scale my business if you don't know anything about personal training? And I'm probably going to offend my brother here. My brother was a bank manager for many, many years. And then he became a business manager. And then he became a business coach. And I said, well, how many businesses have you run? Well, none. Oh, but I've seen so many people with business and I've given them loans in the bank. Yeah, but you don't. So if I give you the best CV and the best business plan, that I go to Richard Dale, who's the best brain surgeon, and I get him to do me a CV and a business plan. I go to the bank and say, can I borrow 2 million because I'm going to set my brain surgery up? Oh, can you show me your CV? Yeah, there it is. Can you show me your business plan? There it is. It's the best one ever. Oh, you will borrow you 2 million. You ain't got a clue what you're doing, but it's tick the boxes, and it's the same. You know, where do you go with it? It's crazy.
Yeah, I think there's certainly this narrative online that you can become a millionaire if you just learn some sort of skill, and whether that's becoming an overnight business mentor or whether that's becoming qualifying as an online coach and becoming, a fitness coach. But yeah, that's leading to a lot of misinformation. And the wider problem is newer people that are coming into the industry, that's all they're seeing too. So they suddenly think, well, that's how I've got to behave.
For sure. And you know what? I have a good friend of mine who's making plenty of money at the moment, and he actually hires out luxury cars in Dubai. And I said, why? He said, we've got an influx going like this at the moment. I said, why?
Yeah.
He said, because all the so-called gurus that are professing that they drive Ferraris are renting off me for a day while they do the videos to tell everybody that they've made all this money and they're driving these cars. And he said, I've got another friend in real estate that's doing well on the rentals for a day, or Airbnb it for a day. This is my house. This is this is that. And unfortunately, it's like we go back to with the PT, with the coaches, social media's created that image. We believe what we see, and it's got to be true. I don't know how old you are, Richard, but in the days when there was a paper that came out, which was the Daily Sport, it was pretty much like as close to a pornographic magazine.
Yeah, I remember that.
You just seen Elvis on the moon. Oh, the amount of people that actually believed Elvis was on the moon. And yet, it couldn't be any more ridiculous as a story, but it was in the tablet, it was in the paper. Is it true?
It's true, yeah. And
now we've gone way past a piece of paper. It's now on, what do you see people on? Phones, laptops, iPads. It's there. And now even more so with AI, things are looking even more real. And you go, wow, okay. So you've got somebody who knows how to work the algorithm, knows how to do good content, knows how to put a good CTA and can design a landing page, uses somebody like ClickFunnels to all the way through. Now it becomes, for me, never really worked out what 2 billion people on the social media platforms, percent by percent by percent. I need 0.0000001% to buy my program for £199. I'm going to make 20 grand a week. Wow. Okay. And I know how to work the algorithm. I know how to post content. I know how to get a CTA. People will buy because people love to buy. Hate to be sold to, but love to buy. So you create the right, and this again goes back, we could turn it on its head for me, why we sit down and people say, wow, you do so much with every new client. Well, it might take me 2 hours before we even come to a decision. Yes, you're a good client for us, or no, you're not. because we'll spend time digging into what are your problems, what are your pains, and we solve those by the way that we do our personal training. Let me take you upstairs and show you how we'll work first with a battle rope, with a kettlebell. Well, what about the weights over there? Yeah, we're going to get to there. But right now, things that you've never used before, that you haven't used, that will do the job and get the results we want to get. Now we'll come back down again. We might make 90 minutes to then get to the end and go, you're not ready. You don't really want this enough. You might be able to afford it, no problem. So I could sit here and take your money. But then in a month, I'm going to be looking for another client. And you're not a good walking advert for me if I'm being selfish now. Because you're not going to do, you have that, realistically, you need me 7 days a week, not once a week. Because the minute you're not with me, you're not going to do this. I know you are. You know you know. So then why's it going to look for me? I'm going to get that 1 day with you, and 6 days, you're not going to do it. Bang, 1 day, 6 days, you're not going to do it. We can do that for the next 2 years. It's probably going to take us 10 years. You're going to be doing more bad habits for 6 days than the 1 day that I'm coaching you to do good habits. So yeah, there's a lot of that we do. But then social media is good for us because we go, look, this is a genuine client. This is where they started. This is where they're at. And it works well, but it's few and far between. The majority for me on social media is ripped body, super transformations in 20 minutes, and you don't need to spend hours. I mean, it's now gone to, you don't need to spend hours in the gym. 30 minutes in, out, 3 days a week, bang, you can do this. Now, there's no denying that you can, dependent upon what intensity you're putting into that 30 minutes. I could put you in the gym for 30 minutes and we can pretty much go around the machine and get on one machine, probably do 3 sets of 12 reps and bang, 30 minutes is up. Or we can roll our sleeves up and we can go out for leather for 30 minutes and work hard in a particular way that gets your heart rate up, down, burns body fat for 30 minutes as like a HIIT workout. But social media doesn't want to see that.
Yes,
Go on, sorry.
It's interesting you made that point, and I hadn't really thought about it like this before. The fact that your marketing, hey, achieve this result by, working less than 3 days a week and eating all the foods that you like, you're potentially actually attracting the people that are the wrong fit for you because they're the lazy ones that want a shortcut.
100%. And it's quite strange whether you take that. I keep moving backwards and forwards because I've got the worst knee pain in the world. So I have to keep straining my leg. I think the coaching industry and the PT industry are exactly the same. People are now, let's say the coaching, promoting, you can be a multimillionaire overnight if you just coach and be a guru and be this. And then there's the false advert of the car, the house. Wow. And lo and behold, the majority of coaches that are coming out now are in the mid-20s. Well, from what I know, and my kids have finished school a long time ago, but didn't you have to go to school, then sixth form, then college? So how long, if you're only 24, how long have you been out of your education? How long have you actually been in a business to coach people? Okay, so we'll park that, but people buy it because they've bought that. Now go to the PT side. I'm going to get you ripped up. You see this wash part. You see before the guy eating a burger. Next thing, 6-pack stomach, 30 minutes a day, 3 days a week. Eat this, eat what you want, blah, 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 90 off. 199, 100, I think the marketing number's 7 at the moment, 197, 297, 300 now. Bang, can do that. I just spent 400 quid on a pair of shoes. 300 quid's nothing. Great. Get the algorithm right, get the content right, get the closing right, get the right funnel, the right, bam, sell. Did you make it? Don't know. And my question would be, grab a coach that took however many people he's took on and promised the world. Grab a PT that said they were going to do this in 30 minutes a day for 3 days. Ask him the first client he ever took on. What was his name? No idea. Second one, what was his name? No idea. 53rd one, what was her name? Why? You don't care who it is. It was 397. Boom. Boom, 397, 397, 397, 397. But I look great as a coach or as a PT online. And I think that's the problem we're faced with, because then you do sit down with people, you are genuine. And I see it now, 10 or 15 minutes is literally, I suppose, in a way saying, look, we are real. We are genuine. And it helps us when we turn people away and they go, wow, I thought I was a foregone conclusion that you were just going to say I could have a PT package. No, you can't. What's the point? Then we just fall into a real life online PT, but we're in person now. We're just whatever we take. And I think it's the same with the coaches.
I'm curious to know, for your business, how you attract leads and clients in. Is it in the gym, social media? Do you run ads? What's your
everything? And I'm just trying to get it. Literally every angle we can. I mean, even down to, I've got a bag here, and this wasn't preempted. You would know that. We even still have like original flyers that will drop off and bang, and we will still flyer cars and houses and what have you. route, and it works. Don't get me wrong, it's not an abundance, but we pick clients up from that. We do work the shop floor. We work the referral system a lot because we're very proud of the results that we get. So that we do get referrals, but we also work with a company, FitPro Lead Gen, and they work heavily with us to run the ads differently with them, because they were a company that said, we'll run the ads, we'll make the appointments, we'll put the people in, they'll just turn up, and no, I haven't it. We create the funnel and the landing pages with them to get to a stage where everybody has to be spoken to by me first. Even if then it's the other 5 PTs that work for me will get that client, they've then got to go and sit with them, but they will speak to me first, and I will say, look, this is what's going to happen, this is what's going to be. You're going to come and sit with any of the PTs, they'll take you upstairs free, and they'll go through like a mini PT session. So it's 30 minutes. So they're still going to get a good workout and a good session to see how the solutions we say that we're going to provide. We've not just got a structure where we say, right, 30 minutes, we do a chest press, a shoulder press, a back row, a leg squat, and then we bring them back downstairs. No, if they've told us they want to lose weight, or they want to build muscle, or they want to build on endurance, then we'll adapt something for 30 minutes to show them how we're going to work with them. Then we'll bring them back down and we'll go through the paperwork. So I've said to the lead generation, which works really well with the ads that they use, I want it to be real. There's no false marketing on those ads. It literally is, are you out of shape? Do you want to get in shape? Are you super fit and want to go for the next level? Are you this? Right, answer these series of questions. And they're also told in that this is going to be an investment. Don't think this is free. And it says again, it's not a 4-week magic wand. This is a program and a journey that you're going to go on. So the people that do respond, we're not trying to pull the wool over their eyes and do some sales pitch. And then we explain to, and it's something I've built into all my PTs, we explain to everyone that we sit down and we say, we are not here today to sell you a PT. The only selling that's going to be done is you've got to sell to me that you're the right client for me to take on. And if you are, you will want to buy one of our programs. And it's not one, we don't have like 12 programs. We have a program that's for Richard Dale, because Richard Dale told us he wants to achieve this, and we'll build that program for you. And you'll want to buy it, because if not, everything that you've just told us about the problems and what you want to achieve, well, then you were either lying to us, which you wouldn't have done, or you wouldn't have sit there and gone through it with us, or we'll say to you, no, I don't think you're ready. The answers that you give me just aren't, there's not enough oomph in there for me to, because it is going to be hard. Let me get rid of this 30-minute in the gym 3 days a week and it's all happy and let's go skipping around the daisies. It's not. You're going to sweat. If I don't get 4 F-bombs from some of the most polite ladies that I've trained, then I'm doing something wrong. Yeah, because we're going to push it. Your body's going to be here and your mind's going to say you've had enough, but we know you can go to there. But it's our job to bit by bit. And so I think with all of that, we're good. We get good referrals, and the company then works well because they do enough to be able to generate some interest with genuine people that then we can get on and be genuine on the phone and say, look, let us invite you down, be it to the private studio or be it to the gym in Everlast where we work.
Nice. Yeah, really, really good. It's trying to find that balance, right, of getting that well-qualified lead that's not going to waste your time and get that marketing message right. That's not going to attract the wrong people. Curious for a new coach or maybe they're in-person coach and they're trying to break into online coaching. Sometimes there's the perception that online coaching is the pot of gold, right? I can travel the world and live the best life and I can have the best lifestyle just from my laptop. Sometimes coaches get into it and they get a successful coaching business and then suddenly they realize they're not enjoying it because they're just stuck behind the laptop the whole time. Would love to know your opinion and your advice for someone that's trying to be successful in the industry, what the right balance might look like, and like what advice you could give to someone that's trying to kick off.
So primarily talking about a PT, I don't think any personal trainer should be online until they've worked at least 12 months in person. I just don't think it's right. Because everybody needs some sort of support system, whether it's online or not. And we've worked with a lot of high-flying, and I hate this word, high-ticket clients, if you like. High-ticket means what? That they can afford more money for a program that is probably the same as somebody selling for £400, we sell it for, say, 10,000. Why? Because we've aimed at that particular, what we talked about before, niche. No, not at all. I think everybody that's due to go or wants to go online, yes, there's the argument that now I don't have to travel down the road 20 minutes to see a client who may be 20 minutes late to do an hour, then drive 20 minutes back to find out that they weren't going to come anyway. And so all that time's wasted. So there's obviously that part. But first and foremost, if you're doing things right and you've got right from the start, those clients should be turning up. They shouldn't be wasting your time anyway. So that's the first thing. Then for me, I grew up through a direct sales background and a sales background of one-to-one and face-to-face. I think there's so much more personable that you start to learn how to work with people and genuinely work with people, mannerisms, whether they're not feeling too great at the time or whatever. To then transpire that to online, I don't agree with it, that there should be any, I don't speak to you, don't need to even have this video conference. Here's your program. I'll give you a call and great. Where is the personal training in that? Where's the coaching in that? I think every online system should have something like this where I can actually see Richard. I can speak to Richard. I can see how he is. And you can see me. I have this horrible analogy of the huge overweight guy saying, and the girl up on the other end of the platform saying, I'm 16, 18 stone, ripped up, muscled guy. I'm going to come and take you out for dinner. And he said, huge. The same as the PT saying, you should be doing this, you should be doing that. Hold on, let's spin that video around. Well, you're not doing it. How can you be coaching me like the dentist with all black teeth telling you how to look after your teeth? You don't see him. So for me, I think the advice to anybody to go online and to coach is put the groundwork in, do I'm going to show my age again, do the YTS, put the work in at the beginning, get your training, get your foundations in, and then start working with your online. I think to be very careful not to get drawn in by the guru who says he can take you to there very quickly. If that was the case, try and be realistic. If you have to pay this guy £10,000 because he's going to make you 100,000 in 2 months, one, why is he only charging you 10? Two, wouldn't everybody be doing it and everybody be earning 100 grand every few months? And if that was the case, the buy's not even big enough to accommodate all these people earning £1 million a week. It's just not. So be realistic. You can have a phenomenally successful business, 6 and 7 figures, definitely, but do it the right way. Don't rush everything and want to rush everything. Learn your trade, learn your qualities, learn your skills, learn how to work with people, move it online, but not because you want to sit on your backside for 2 hours a day and make £1 million a week. It ain't going to happen. Not going to happen. Maybe there'll be somebody out there blowing their head now going, I can prove I made £1 million in 2 weeks. But you might have done. I'll question it still to this day. And if there's one, fair enough. But for every one, there's 999 billion that didn't. So, but again, that doesn't take away from the fact it's a great business, coaching, personal training, fitness, coaching as a whole. But I think if it's done genuinely, done honestly, start from the beginning, working in face-to-face, move on. I don't necessarily say you have to go and work in a gym and not talk primarily for personal training, but work with people, physical people, and then move and transition into your online and do the transition. Don't think it's going to happen overnight. So you've got that balance.
Yeah, really, really great advice. Yeah, it's just being pragmatic and realistic. And
Sure.
is this a long-term goal for you? Is this a career that you actually want to build? And if it is, you've got to earn the stripes. You've got to move up the levels. It isn't just going to happen in, like you say, 2-3 months, like social media mentor might promise you is the case. You've got to put the work in if you really, really want it long term.
Listen, even somebody like Alex Harmonzi, well, I take them all. Andy Frisella, phenomenal business, probably one of the best podcasts in the world. For the first 4 years, he lived in the back of his protein shop on £100 a year. He wasn't even making £100 a year. Ask him whether you can do something online in 2 minutes. Not at all. And yet he's probably one of the best online podcasts, probably one of the best online programs. He's a multi-billion-pound business. Didn't happen overnight. And probably still to this day, he's that duck on water. His legs are still going like this underneath. It looks great, but it doesn't. Things that are worth doing. And it's the old adage, if it's worth doing, it's worth working hard for. People say, yeah, but you can work smarter. No, I think you have to work harder to be able to work smarter. And people are now saying, forget the hard work, I just want to work smart. But you've got to work hard to be able to work smart. And there's a line there. Everybody seems to feel, jump online, it's easy. And that is where the problem is, because it isn't easy. It might be more convenient in comparison to one-to-one or face-to-face, but sure as hell isn't any easier. Still needs to work. I've got a million analogies. The grass is always greener. And when you get there, you still got to get the lawnmower out and you still got to mow the grass for it to look nice. Okay? If you think you're going to jump ship and go out, you still got to put the work in. So yeah, I think for me, everybody get your base, get your foundations. And again, people want to put the foundations in. Before you can put foundations in, you've got to dig the footings out. So dig the footings out first, then get your foundations, and brick by brick you can go. Halfway up building the house, it might be that you go online. Great. But definitely don't shy away from working with people face to face first. I think it's imperative.
Nice. Really, really solid advice. I hope someone watches this back and feels inspired, that actually maybe they are taking the right steps and not to be kind of tricked by what they see on social media.
And I think that's the biggest thing, Richard. I think that's the best word you've used, tricked. And I believe that's what's happening. People are being tricked into bang. And why are you being tricked? Because somewhere somebody is making money from you buying that dream. It doesn't have to be a dream. You can build it and you can build your dream, and I've said this again, dreams are great, but you wake up, you've got to put the work in to make that dream come into a fruition. So
yeah, 100%. Thanks so much for taking your time and joining
Richard,
the show.
absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure.
I'll link your socials, your website in the description, so if anyone wants to check you out, they can there. Yeah, have a great rest of your day.
Excellent. Thanks, Richard. Absolute pleasure. Take care.
Bye.